it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because if you watched my 2020 goals and intentions video, I talked about how we wanted to move. It's just not in the cards for us right now for various reasons, mostly because the value of our house has appreciated. So basically, to keep our payment what we are paying now, we would basically be able to afford our same house, if that makes sense. It's not worth moving to buy my own house back. I already live here. So anyway, we're gonna be staying here for a while. I don't know how long. And so I'm like, okay, if we're gonna stay here, I really wanna put some time and effort and money into making more storage to make the most use of the space we have here, because that's really the main reason I wanted to move, was for more space. So we've done a couple things. I had a couple things that I'm trying to figure out how to make it work and get it done. And the first project that we were gonna work on was cutting in under our stairs. We have 2 flights of stairs in our house. Our living room closet is actually under the upper flight of stairs. And I'm like, what's under the lower flight of stairs? Right now there's just a wall. So what's under there? Turns out it was nothing. I was worried there might be pipes or anything back there. There was nothing. So we were actually able to cut in under there and make some more storage in that lower flight of stairs. So in today's video, I'm gonna be showing you a little bit of kind of before footage, and I'm gonna be sharing with you the after of what we were able to turn it into, what we're using it for now, and just even that little bit of space is giving us more room in other places in our house. So if you wanna see how we did that and how it turned out, then stay tuned. Okay guys, so it is all done and organized and cleaned, and I can't wait to share with you what it turned out like. So if you saw the original video I did several years ago, some things haven't changed and some things have. One of the things that stayed the same is we do have a shoe bag on the back of the door. We actually mounted these hooks inside the top of the door. That way when you close the door, you don't see the hooks from the other side, which I didn't want to see those. So that has been that way and working perfectly for us for quite a few years now. The only problem is my husband really wants to keep every pair of shoes he owns down here, and there were not enough shoe holes for all of his shoes and then all of our shoes. So I did go ahead and add this other shoe rack. It's not perfectly ideal because it is a little bit deep, so it does take up a little bit of room when you're trying to get to the back of the closet. But it's not a huge deal, and I feel like the space that it adds and the convenience it's gonna add to my life is gonna be worth it, because when he would wear shoes that came from his closet, he would not take them back up when he got home. He'd leave them in the kitchen, he'd leave them on the stairs. So even though this is not the perfect situation, it is going to be a solution to a problem that obviously is not going to be corrected by just being able to have all of his shoes down here. So everything is down here except for his flip-flops and sandals, which he doesn't wear that often, and his cowboy boots and work boots and things like that. But all of his tennis shoes and all of his dress shoes are down here. And then most of the other shoes are here except for my oldest daughter's like heels and things. But everybody's shoes are down here for the most part. And I think it's gonna be a lot more convenient than having his shoes laying all over the house. So that is what that shelf is for. That's where it came from, Target. One thing I liked about this shelf in particular is these shelves are adjustable. So I was able to move this one down a little bit. So I had enough room for shoes, and then I can actually put things underneath, and I'll show you that in a minute. So our vacuum for downstairs does live in this closet, so it does have to stay there. So if you want to get to the back of the closet, you just have to move that. The tray tables have stayed the same. We mounted them to the wall years and years ago. You would have seen that in that original video with this hook kind of thing. And that's still going strong. There's actually 4 of them. One of them's out right now, but that's where they stay. And that way they're not taking up much room, but they're easily accessible. So obviously all of the coats are here. I have my laptop bag, and then we just have a little massage kind of rollerball thing up there. The girls' backpacks for our homeschool co-op stay there. My daughter's dance bag is on that hook, and sometimes there's umbrellas on there as well. Up here, I actually have 2 of these things. I have one here and one there, and I use those a lot for storing hangers for when I'm going to be ironing. So I do the ironing in the living room, and I like to have this out for hangers. So I have 2 of those, but they do fold up when you're not using them. I will show you what's underneath here on this shelf. So we just have some extra shoes and slippers. And down here I have my weights that I use pretty much every single day. I have Power Block weights, which are adjustable dumbbells So in this set right here, this is the Sport 2.4 Power Block weights, and I like these because they are adjustable dumbbells, so they go from 3 to 24 pounds per hand, but they only take up this much space. I've talked about these before, I've done a review about them before. If you are in the market for free weights, I highly recommend these versus getting regular dumbbells because you get so much more versatility in such a small space, and I really love these. So I've had these for quite a few years, so they just slide under there, that way nobody's tripping over them, and I just have my weight gloves on top of that. Back here I do have a bin of some free weights that I got before I got my power blocks, and this is what I'm saying, like, this is only 2 sets of dumbbells and they take up a lot of room and they're annoying, so I don't use those very often, but I'm gonna hang on to them for a little while longer. I have my husband's weight gloves, and then I have these carpet like moving sliders that I use for working out, so those stay right there. Okay, back here I just have this little organizer that I got from Walmart, and it's got all of our winter gloves and hats and scarves and things like that, and there are some summer hats here in the middle. With this bin right here in the top, it fits, slides in perfectly right there, but it's just a shoebox container from Container Store, and then I just have my vacuum accessories in. So that is not that exciting, nothing that earth-shattering, but what we have changed and that I love the most is cutting in back here in this little spot. So one really neat thing we did was we actually put in an LED light. That's what that little remote is for. So we just command stripped it to the door facing that we made. Just so we could see, obviously, because we're not electricians and we did not know how to wire it. It didn't seem like there was anywhere to cut in and like splice the electricity or whatever you call it. So we just put this little LED light bar that we got at Amazon. It is super duper bright. It was really inexpensive. It did come with this remote, so you can do like different amounts of light. You can do a timer, but it's perfect. It gives you the exact amount of light that you need. And without having to use electricity. So I love that, and it's rechargeable instead of batteries, so that's awesome. So one thing we did, it was a big change and I'm really excited about it, is we used to have all of our photo albums in a cabinet up in the upstairs hallway. The problem with having the photo albums in that cabinet upstairs was it was already full. So there was not room to put any more photo albums, and I know that's not going to be realistic. I'm going to keep taking pictures. I'm going to want to put them in albums or photo boxes, and I didn't really know what to do because photo albums are heavy. You can't just put them anywhere because they'll get damaged if they're in the garage. They could get, you know, heat or moisture damage. So this is one of the first places I thought to put them when we talked about cutting in down here, was making room for my photo album. So all of these photo albums came from that cabinet in the end of the hallway. So now that I was able to use for other things. They don't match. The sizes match for the most part, except for that one that's our wedding album. But the colors don't match, but that's okay. They're numbered, they're organized, and they're a lot more accessible. Even though you might think, well, you have to climb to the back of your closet to get to them, we don't look at them on a daily basis or even on a weekly basis. You know, maybe it's once or twice a month, maybe not even that often. So they are more accessible than they were because at least they're not stacked like on top of each other like they were in that cabinet. So now they're all organized. There is room to grow. I just have a couple accessory things over here. Some old like pictures that we don't have negatives for or that weren't taken with a digital camera. And then we just have some caricatures down there in those tubes. So I just slid these 2 bins. This one is actually where I am going to be keeping my photo pages. I'm almost out, but I get mine at Container Store. Sometimes I'll get them at Amazon, but I like the ones at Container Store the best. But that's where they're going to stay so that I have access to those. And then over there, I just have I have our wedding unity candle just because I don't know where else to put it. And I have some like photo frame stands down there. This gray shelf we actually bought from Lowe's. It came with a 4th level, which I actually put over there and put all the way against the wall because the wall does slope because this is going under the stairs. So it goes all the way back there to the back wall. I've got all of my floral decor here. So again, this is something that I wanted to be able to access my decor, but I'm not accessing it every day, every week, and sometimes even every month. So seasonal things like Easter, Valentine's Day, Christmas, that's still up in the attic. This is all just like miscellaneous decor that I might use at any given time throughout the year, or lampshades that I want to keep, or lamps that I want to keep. Any type of decor like that goes on this shelf. So I took the 3 shelves here for all of these things. The extra shelf is over there. Underneath that, I was able to put most of my photo albums that I'm not using right now all the way back here under there. Then over here, I do just have the extra oversized photo albums and artwork and things like that. I have an old butterfly mobile that my youngest might want to use at some point. I have a vase that was too tall to fit on the shelf. And then in the back, I have all of our paint. And it worked out perfectly because you can't see exactly, but the stairs do go down a little bit farther. I was able to stack like two stacks of paint, 1 stack of paint, all the way across the back. So I put the paint in the very, very back that I need the least. So things that I'm not gonna have to likely touch up or anything like that. And then towards the front, I have things that we're gonna use on a more regular basis. So our bedroom wall paint or trim paint or anything like that is closer to the front. So that is where all of that extra decor is staying. Then the walls themselves, they were not framed. They were framed and they were insulated, but they were not drywalled. So much to my husband's dismay, I actually asked him to go ahead and drywall it. We are not professionals. We are not carpenters. We're not drywallers. We're not terribly handy people. So it didn't turn out perfectly. It's not the best job in the world. You know, you can kind of see some tape marks here and there from the drywall. But for me, I think it looks better than just leaving it exposed. I feel like it makes it feel like more of the part of the closet and more a part of the house when it's drywalled and it's painted. We did leave the floor unfinished. It's just the concrete floor. We put a transition piece in here between the concrete and the vinyl that was already in the closet. And we did frame out the opening just to try to make it look a little bit more finished. So all of this stuff, except for the photo albums, somehow was in the back of the closet. And I'm gonna back out and show you where it was. And kind of what I have replaced it with. So all of that stuff, the paint was stacked up here all around the water heater. I had just, I don't know, it was a mess. If you saw my original closet video, this little white shelf is what I had a lot of my decor on that now is on that gray shelf that I just showed you. A lot of it was on this little bookcase. It used to be in my oldest daughter's bedroom. So what I have done, again, I was able to take some things that were in other places in the house or the garage and put them back here, and it's so much more convenient. I used to have all of my vase fillers and decorative things like that, like my sparkly pumpkins, my Valentine's Day hearts, and all that stuff I used to have in the upper shelf in the laundry room, which was, it was okay. I mean, it's not like I'm accessing it that often. I would have liked for it to have been with the decor, and now it is. So does it annoy me that this shoebox lid does not match? Yes, but I'm not gonna go and replace it right now. It's fine. So I had, most of these shoe boxes came from Dollar Tree. These with the clear lids were left over from my closet, and they're from Container Store. But a lot of this stuff did come from Dollar Tree. This one's from Dollar Tree. It's got the floodlight light bulbs in it, and then I've got regular light bulbs here, command strips and felt furniture pads and things like that in that container, and then extra light bulbs over there. We have an inflatable birthday cake that the girls like to have up on their birthdays. On the next shelf is vase filler. So I've got clear fillers, fruit fillers, Valentine's Day, miscellaneous, and furniture pins. So like any touch-up pins. And then both of these are fall fillers. This big one on the bottom, which is just like this one, it is from Dollar Tree, and that is just any sphere. So like moss balls and things like that are in that container. And here I have streamers, and then in this one I have balloons and party poppers. Then I have a little thing of snowflakes that was from a frozen party we had. And then all of this stuff is party supplies. So photo props and banners and tablecloths and all different things that you would have for a party are all down there. And all of that stuff, except for the command hooks and the light bulbs, came from my laundry. So putting them in here freed up space in those two areas where I was able to put other things. And then back here, I do just have a couple frames that were really, really big. I did go ahead and slip them back here just because I did have that little cutout with this pipe. That was a perfect place to put them. So that is where those went. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what we have done to utilize the space under our stairs. And I feel like there are so many places in houses that builders could make more use of. I know they don't, I guess because it's cheaper. I know in my parents' house, they were gonna like close off this one whole side that could have had a big attic access, and they were like, no, don't close that off, put a door. And now they have 2 attics instead of 1. So things like that. And if you bought a house that's already been made, you obviously don't have the option of telling the builder that you want things left open. but there are definitely options possibly for you in your house of things you can do to make more space. So that was our first project of the year of trying to make more space and working with what we have in our house. I'm just really happy with how it turned out. It was not an easy job. My husband and I are not crafty people, and we tend to argue when we have home projects together, but we got it done. We are still married. We don't hate each other, and the space is done, and I feel like it's a good use of the space. So I hope this encourages you and motivates you to think about your house, the space that you have, make it work for you. What could you do? What could you change? What could you add to the space that you already have to make it more usable? So I hope this motivated you and inspired you. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and please share this video with anybody else that you feel like may benefit from it, to get them thinking about ways they can make more space in their house, or if they have stairs they could possibly cut into underneath and add more storage. Just definitely share this video with anybody that you think it might be helpful for, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.